everyone, and welcome to another royal reading here at MadWorldTarot. First of all, apologies that one of my readings on Friday didn't upload properly. It got stuck in processing hell on YouTube. These things happen from time to time, but I didn't notice it. Yesterday I was very busy with friends that were here with us, and by the time I did notice it, unfortunately I had already deleted the original for space saving reasons. So it's gone, never to be seen again. But there was just one little interesting thing that I want to mention in that reading. It was about Archie and Lily in the event of a divorce, and I saw it was one of those psychic hits. I saw possibly we might actually see them for the very first time at the Christmas Carol service at Westminster Abbey. So I just wanted to mention that because it was just a strange little hit that I got. And then on we go with the Crow Tarot. And today we're looking at horrible bosses and horrible friends, allegedly. Crow Tarot, we're looking first of all at the sudden exit from Archewell of the latest PR person, Emily Robinson, the Director of Communications. She quit after just a few months. She was a Netflix person. I think she was a publicist for The Crown, a tough cookie by all accounts, moved over to Archewell, lasted 3 or 4 months, and then she quit, and she's back with Netflix. And so bad headlines for Meghan again. I think she's the 10th PR person to have left. That doesn't include all the other kinds of people that have left Archewell for alleged reasons of Meghan being very difficult to work with / a bully, and allegedly. And this one, as I say, tough cookie who quit. We're going to ask why she signed up in the first place with Meghan, given Meghan's reputation at this point, why she left. There is a rumor from NT Crazy Days and Nights that allegedly she was screamed at, shouted at constantly every second of every day, and also allegedly not paid what she was promised. That is a rumor we're going to look at in this reading. And the situation is so toxic, allegedly, according to NT, that she is considering suing, even though there is an arbitration clause in her contract. And if she does sue, as NT says, the walls are going to crumble and all sorts of bad things are going to be exposed. So we're going to look at this and see what's going on. And I'm also curious to know in this reading what Ted Sarandos and Netflix think of this latest casualty, because she's one of theirs. She's not just some random person, some dear sweet little thing who couldn't handle the forceful nature of Meghan Markle's character. This is a Netflix person, and this is, as I say, allegedly a tough nut who couldn't hack it and left. The expression that NT uses was she escaped rather than quit. That gives you a sense of the bit of gossip. Let's remind you, it's tarot for fun and entertainment. It is all my opinion and all speculation and all allegedly. Just read energy here on these kinds of rumors and stories. Disclaimer in the box below. Let's see what's going on with Emily Robinson. And we got the 9 of Cups in the underlying energy, which is not at all a difficult energy. It's in fact a dream come true kind of energy that's showing up here. Quite a self-indulgent kind of an energy. I will say about the 9 of Cups that it is one of my quite heavy drinking cards. That might show up in the reading, the 9 of Cups, that possibly there's a sense of self-indulgence, living like a lush, and not really being very focused on the things that need to be focused on. That could be a problem in a business relationship like this. Meghan, of course, deep in her with Love Meghan phase and her as ever phase, and maybe we've all seen the day drinking, even the breakfast drinking. Maybe that's an issue. I'm speculating, of course. Underlying energy is not necessarily problematic, but this was obviously a problematic relationship. That could be a reason. Just saying, I'm speculating, of course. A lot of speculation around those kinds of issues. What are we dealing with? We're dealing with the Three of Swords. Now, there's a difficult card. That's the central issue of betrayal, heartache, really feeling violated. That's a very strong word, and I don't mean it in the S with an actual sense. I mean it in the sense of trust being betrayed. A certain level of trust that's been betrayed, a real pain, even for someone who's quite hard-headed, hard-nosed, whatever. This is somebody who was shocked at the level of difficulty and of pain that they experienced in this environment. It's one of, if not the most painful cards in tarot. So for that to show up as a central issue is, for me as an energy reader, really quite shocking, especially as that's the underlying energy. Maybe that, as I said, the connotations of that Nine of Cups led to some of that. So anyway, you can imagine the scenarios. I can certainly imagine scenarios that would have led to that. Let's ask why she decided to go and work for Meghan in the first place, given by now Meghan's reputation as revealed by the Hollywood Reporter, or as described or alleged by the Hollywood Reporter. And I think Vogue also had a bit of a takedown. Was it Vogue or Vanity Fair? Can't remember. One of them. Why did she go and work for them? And we've got the Three of Wands. And the Three of Wands is hope and expectation. So she thought that good things were coming her way. She saw a chance to work on a new brand that she thought was going to grow and expand and lead to more opportunities probably than she had at Netflix. Maybe she felt that she'd used up whatever opportunities were on offer at Netflix, and this was all new. This was a chance to really prove herself. So she was optimistic. She was ambitious and optimistic when she joined, despite, I would say, knowing what's what with Meghan Markle. I think everyone does by now, who is recruited by Archie Well. That's just, of course, my personal opinion. So why did she leave? What made it impossible for her to go? The Queen of Cups. Now, that's not a difficult energy in itself. It's not a difficult energy. But, and I can't remember if I said this in my preamble, because I'm trying not to make such long preambles. But one of the speculations is that she left because of the Diana stunt in Paris. That was a bridge too far, and they had a big fallout over it. That's Diana. So why did she leave Queen of Cups? That she just thought that Diana stunt was, I'm speculating, of course, she thought it was terrible, it was unforgivable, and not what had been agreed, and would have undone all her good work, all her efforts, and the end. So I think that's the explanation. That's certainly the explanation that's showing up on the tarot table for me as an energy reader. So let's move on from that card. Let's ask about the yelling that is alleged by Enty on Crazy Days and Nights. So it's a bit of rumour and gossip. What about that? Was there lots of shouting? Oh yes. One of the characteristics of the devil is anger. Absolutely. Rage, out of control rage with the devil. It's actually making me feel quite nervous. And I'm looking at the poor friend who ended up feeling quite nervous in the next reading. That the devil is scary, literally. I would say wild, out of control rage. And I'm going to come back to this Nine of Cups. And this is my personal speculation, and it's based on my own lived experience, that when someone is under the influence of the Nine of Cups, the rage can be quite extraordinary. The things that are said can be quite extraordinary, and you walk on what do you walk on? but it's precarious every second of the day. You never know what is going to prompt some sort of eruption, terrible eruption that causes terrible damage. And it was real painful damage that was caused to this woman, according to my cards. This is an energy reading, of course, and my opinion, of course. So let's ask now the question, the other part of NT's bit of gossip or rumor, that allegedly she wasn't paid what she was promised. Is any of that true? I've got the Six of Swords, and it's leaving after a conflict. Six of Swords follows the Five of Swords, which is conflict and defeat and falling out and then leaving. So there is a possibility. It's not showing up directly. The energy that's coming through is that it was one of the reasons why she decided to go. I think they had a fallout over possibly whatever package she was offered that she didn't feel she got. Three of Swords, hurt, betrayed, and left. That's a driving reason to leave. The devil energy would be the main reason to leave. But if you are subjected to that kind of volatile energy, that kind of abuse, potentially, allegedly, all of those words, and then you're not being paid, or your package isn't what you thought it was going to be, of course you're going to go. You're going to go to a more peaceful environment. You're going to go back to Netflix, the known quantity, rather than this very volatile, potentially dangerous quality. The devil is also very dangerous. So for me as an energy reader, that's how it's coming through. Anyway, let's move on to ask now whether she is actually going to sue. She's going to sue. We've got the Six of Cups. That's not legal. That's more like a reconciliation energy. My next question is Megan going to shut this down with a handsome payment, like she seemed to have shut down some of the others who left? Josh Kettler springs to mind. That was Harry's, what did they call him? He had some very fancy name, but he hopped it after 3 months as well. They've obviously got their probation period, and then off they go fast as they can once that's over. Similar kind of a timing to this situation with Emily Robinson. That's not legal. That's making peace. So let's ask what's Megan's going to do. Is she going to pay her off? I've got the Knight of Swords in reverse. It's not peacemaking energy. That to me is more of a threat. The Knight of Swords, that if you cause trouble, I will make your life a living hell. That's how it's reading for me. The Knight of Swords, never one of my favorite cards, because it acts from the head rather than the heart. It's swift, can be swift retribution in reverse, and I'm feeling swift retribution there. If you try and get legal, I'm going to out-legal you. And so I don't see any possibility of a court case going here. Not for me in these cards, despite the provocation of the devil. Very, very, very severe provocation. So let's ask what Netflix thinks of this. Ted Sarandos in particular. What does he think when he hears stories like that? I'm sure she's gone trotting along and told all, at least to someone at Netflix, if not him. What does he think? And we got the Five of Wands. The Five of Wands, and it's in reverse. He's heard this over and over and over from people with Megan. It's interesting in this Five of Wands card. There's a figure that looks like it's underwater, kind of a drowned figure. It's stones and things, but it gives the idea that beneath these fighting crows is someone who's actually drowned. And I've never noticed that before. In this artwork, but it's fighting, but because it's in reverse, I just get the feeling that he ignores it, that he thinks it's overblown and exaggerated, that people can't take the forceful nature of Megan's personality. And of course she can switch on the charm whenever she wants to, and I'm sure she switched the charm on with him and his wife Nicole. And so he doesn't see it, he hears it secondhand and he doesn't believe it. He thinks it's cat fights. He thinks it's that kind of thing. He thinks it's people who are envious, jealous, you can't get on with each other. And I don't think he takes it nearly seriously enough. That's my personal opinion. I would want to see a much bigger card there for someone who's in charge of these huge budgets and these huge teams and has given Meghan Markle the kinds of opportunities that he has given her, apparently against the will of some other board members at Netflix. We always hear that the other guy, whose name I can never remember, who's really opposed to this Netflix deal with Harry and Meghan, or now basically just Meghan. But I don't think he takes it seriously, not nearly seriously enough. Interesting. So are we going to hear any more? Are any more juicy things going to leak? It's not looking like it's going to result in any form of legal proceedings, but are we going to hear some juicy stuff, or is it all silence? We've got the Tower in reverse. What did Auntie say about the walls crumbling down? The walls could be starting to sway with that Tower in reverse. Tower in reverse, you try and prevent the Tower from crumbling. I think there's going to be some very serious heavy lifting in the background to try and shut this woman up. And she's definitely been through it with the Three of Swords. You don't have that energy on a tarot table if someone hasn't been treated very, very badly, or at least had the subjective experience of being treated very, very badly. And the Tower is, I think, starting to crumble, starting to fall, and may fall in future. I wouldn't say it's very long down the line that Tower is going to really come crumbling down. I have got readings that I have to do that I'm sitting on because I haven't the stomach for them right now, about things that are being revealed about Harry and Meghan and their alleged very bad behavior behind the scenes that need to be looked at, and I will get to them. I think this is just one of those moments. It's not the key moment, but it's starting. It's starting. I can hear, as I'm saying that, I can hear sort of sand falling and little pebbles. And it's that kind of, you see those videos on YouTube of a big giant slab of mountain suddenly collapsing. But it doesn't just collapse without warning. You get the little, the sand running and the pebbles and the cracks start to appear and the cameras all get aimed at the mountain. It might take a day, it might take a month. The mountain comes crashing down. That's the sense that I have with this Tower thing. It's not over. Even if she gets shut down and threatened, it's not over. It might get leaked, and it might join others who know stuff, and together they might bring this Tower down. That's the reading, all allegedly, of course. Thank you for watching. Hope this one uploads, and I'll see you on the next one.